Sarina, the border between fame and love. 1. Behind the scenes. The 2024 Women's Euro is approaching. Sarina Wiegman, after many years of leading the England team, is invited back to her homeland, the Netherlands, to lead the women's team on a journey of rebuilding. One of her most controversial choices is to recall a talented but controversial former player, Lot van Rijn, who was kicked out of the team for unprofessional behavior and an ambiguous relationship with a club coach. Lot, 29 years old, is beautiful, sharp, intelligent, and carries a rebellious fire that Sarina finds strangely familiar. At the first training session, their eyes meet not just as coach and player, but as two experienced, wounded people trying to hide something very human. 2. Sparks in the treatment room. A minor injury forces Lot to train separately. Sarina came to watch the recovery session. "I thought you didn't want me here," Lot said, her eyes never leaving the mat. "I don't want to repeat the same mistake. But I don't hate you." "And me." Lot looked up, her gaze unflinching. "I never stopped thinking about someone who believed in me, when I had no reason to believe in them." Sarina stepped closer, but kept her distance. She was the coach, the guide, the one being watched every step of the way. But Lot's gaze at that moment needed no words. It was surrender. And when her hand touched Lot's shoulder, gently, it was enough to ignite what they had been trying to suppress. 3. The rumor. 3 weeks later, an anonymous sports reporter published a short article. Lot van Rijn, Coach Wiegman's lover? The question is not just about feelings, but about power. Public opinion was divided. One side supported, saying that everyone has the right to love. The other side criticized Sarina for abusing her position, turning the national team into a backyard for personal emotions. The federation requested to clarify any personal relationships that could affect professionalism. 4. Choose fame or heart. Sarina was advised to remove Lot's name to avoid conflicts of interest. Lot knew that. She sent a message. "If you need to sacrifice me to save your career, do it. I understand." But Sarina did not reply immediately. That night, in her hotel room in Rotterdam, Sarina looked at herself in the mirror. She had won on the pitch, but in the mirror, she was a woman tired of having to choose between her ideals and her heart. She was no longer young, but for the first time in her life, she asked herself, "If I don't live truthfully, what meaning does winning have?" 5. The historic press conference. In front of the press, Sarina did not deny it. "I have feelings for a player, and I reported it properly, transparently. I did not remove Lot from the team, because that would be biased. We are human beings, and I chose to live truthfully." The entire conference room was silent. A female reporter shed tears. Another tried to trap her with a sarcastic question. "Do you think your career should end here?" Sarina replied, "If I end my career to live true to myself, then I consider that a final achievement." 6. Media shock. After the press conference to publicly announce the relationship between the head coach and the player, the entire European media exploded. Hundreds of articles, talk shows, and podcasts continuously discussed Sarina. Some praised her as a person who dares to be real in a stereotypical environment, but most thought it was a conflict of interest, even though the feelings were real. The Dutch Football Association, KNVB, announced that it would review Ms. Wiegman's position after Euro 2024. An article from a veteran female writer caused a stir. Sarina has gone too far. The love of a powerful person is never simple. It always carries a burden, and sometimes a hurt that the other person has not yet realized. 7. The silent match. At the training camp, Lot continued to play as if nothing had happened. But she knew all eyes were on her, not as a player, but as a living question mark of morality and favoritism. One evening, she quietly sought out Sarina outside the training ground. "Everyone looks at me as if I were just someone you chose for non-professional reasons. I know, Sarina said, her voice low. Should I withdraw? If I do, I will be no different than they think. And I don't love someone who lives to please the world. Lot gently rested her forehead on Sarina's shoulder. In the middle of the night, there was only the sound of two hearts beating silently in a world that kept talking for them. 8. The unfair final. Euro 2024 Netherlands reached the semi-finals. Lot was the star of the tournament, assisting 4 goals, scoring 3, almost irreplaceable. But just one day before the decisive match, a new anonymous email was sent to the federation and the press. Sarina Wiegman had interfered with the match list to keep Lot van Rijn in the starting lineup despite her injury last month. Although unfounded, public pressure forced Sarina to bench Lot. The Netherlands lost 1-2, a match full of chances, but missing Lot. 9. The end, or the beginning. Soon after the match, Sarina announced her resignation. She did not cry. In her final press conference, she said, "I do not regret loving someone. I only regret that the world is not ready to distinguish between true love and power that is misinterpreted." Lot left the airport without the team. She walked in the other direction. 10. 1 year later. 1 year later, on a small hill in the suburbs of Tuscany, Italy, where a new women's soccer academy has just opened, a blonde woman wearing sunglasses is seen watching young girls running on the field. Sarina Wiegman, no longer the head coach, but as the founder of the Academy for Female Players and Female Coaches, no one is forced to choose between love and career anymore. A car pulls up. Out steps Lot, long hair, wearing a white t-shirt, holding a tactical plan. "Today I'm an assistant. And tomorrow?" Sarina asks, smiling. "I'll still love you tomorrow," Lot replies. 11. Restart. 2 years after the scandal, the Women's Football Academy co-founded by Sarina and Lot has become a shining light for women's sport in Europe. There are no big signs. No reporters. Just green grass, young girls sweating, and 2 women standing side by side, quiet, strong. One day, they receive a surprise invitation from UEFA. "We would like to offer Ms. Wiegman the position of technical director for the entire development system of women's football in Europe. This is one of the most influential positions, higher than that of head coach." Lot smiles when she hears the news, but Sarina knows, this is the final line. If she accepts, she must end all romantic relationships with anyone working at the academy, according to new regulations issued by UEFA, because of her scandal back then. 12. The secret meeting. Late one night, UEFA representatives come to see Sarina privately. The conversation was off the press, off the record. "We want you back, but not with Lot around. In terms of image, you need to distance yourself from your personal past. And if I refuse? There will be someone else. And your academy, we hear they're asking for financial support?" Sarina realized, they weren't just buying her return, they were using Lot as a bargaining chip. 13. The final battle. She didn't say anything to Lot that night. She just stood by the window, watching the yellow light in the room across the room, where the young woman was reviewing the video of today's training. She could choose to return to the limelight, or keep the real life she had built from the rubble. But not both. The next morning, Sarina left a white envelope in Lot's office. 14. Lot reads the letter. "You are always right in a wrong world. But that world is still too strong for people like you and me. I will not give up on you. I choose to live so that every girl like you, like me, will not have to pay with their love one day. When you read this letter, I will be gone. Don't look for me, live right, and train like you learned from me, but braver." Lot collapsed on the table. But her tears were not of despair. They were of understanding, the pain of someone who dared to love her by leaving at the right time. 15. The end. 2 years later, at a ceremony in Nyon, Switzerland, where UEFA honored the most influential people in European women's football. Sarina Wiegman stepped up to the stage to receive the title of guide. The reporter asked, "If you could go back, would you do anything differently?" Sarina looked straight into the camera, her eyes calm. "I'm not turning back. I'm going forward."